serve him if he's that sadistic and masochistic. I don't need a God like that. And so if I am so focused on staying on the line, I can't fulfill my assignment. But my God is big enough to handle my fault, my strokes, grubs, my mess ups, because he's already prepared for what I might do. He knows what I'm going to do before I do it, and he already made preparation for me before I get there. What follows darkness is light. That darkness is the indicator that light is getting ready to shine. So there it is in Genesis, when darkness was upon the face of the deep, and God in the spirit form moved upon the face of the waters, and then God said, let there be. Because darkness precedes the light. Are you understanding what I'm saying? But he needs the darkness there so that God can move upon the face of the deep, so that the shift can take place. Listen, look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor that shift take place in the darkness. Oh God, y'all didn't hear what I just said. Everybody's not going to see the shift that's happening. They see the chaos, but they don't see the shift. They see all the craziness going on in your life, but they don't understand that underneath the darkness, God is moving in secret. He's moving in quiet. He's moving in the hidden places. He's moving in the cracks and the corners and the crevices. He's moving in places that you cannot see. And when the light comes, they're going to see a new order. But untidy. And so the universe then has no choice. First attribute of the secret place. The secret place is a place of revelation. It makes sets you free because it awakens you and makes you consciously aware that everything that you thought was holding you is an illusion.
Oh, I was so busy dancing to the music, I forgot to come into the little studio. Hey, everybody. Hey, welcome to Emerge the Movement. I'm your host, Isaac J. Miles Sr., and I'm so glad that you've decided to join me for this great conscious conversation on tonight. We are here to equip you with everything that you need in order to strengthen you and empower you along your spiritual journey to wholeness. And I'm so glad that you decided to be a part of our conversation tonight. We've been having some really good discussions and conversations around this one universal topic, some uncomfortable truths. We've gone through 8 of them so far. Tonight, we're going to jump in on number 9. And it's going to start out pretty, I'm telling you, it's going to be challenging. And it gets more challenging as the further down the list that we go. But it is also empowering if you are listening and you are embracing those truths as we release them to you. So I'm hoping that you're being encouraged, you're being empowered, and you're being informed as we go through these truths, the uncomfortable truths. All right. So as always, I need for you to share. Every single one of you that's on right now. There's about 9 of you on Facebook, another 5 of you that are watching by way of YouTube. Go ahead and, if you will, share this broadcast right now. Take a moment and share it on your page. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, copy the link and send it out in your group chat. Send it to all of your friends. Share it with them and tell them, listen, you should come and be a part of this conversation. It's going to be a really good one tonight. Also, those of you on Facebook, you can tag in the comments as many people as you desire to tag. Go ahead and tag them so that they'll be alerted that we're over here and they can come over and they can be a part of the conversation as well. Oh, goodness. I asked y'all to tag and share and the numbers dropped. Instead of going up, the numbers went down. I don't know. Maybe they just saw my mug and was like, oh, I can't stand to look at it. I don't know what it is. Anyway, but yeah, tag and share so that they're able to come over and be a part of the conversation. Y'all know I'm just playing because I know I'm cute. Anyway. Oh, man. How's everybody doing with the 90 days of abundance? I hope that you are still on track, still moving forward, that you're still coming and into your sacred space in the mornings or in the evenings, whenever it is that's good for you, and doing your affirmations and spending time in meditation. And by now, again, you should start beginning to see some of the residual effects of your participating in this and your mindset starting to shift and starting to have a different outlook, a different perception. And you're thinking from that place of abundance, thinking from that place of completeness, wholeness, of prosperity, of more than enough. And so you're seeing the effect of that. Now, okay, good. I'm seeing some of you chiming in right now, still going strong, still holding on. That's what I'm saying. And even if you missed a day, start over. Don't give up. Whatever you do, don't quit. Do not quit. Okay, this is too important. It's too vital to your future, your destiny in front of you, and how you're going to be able to navigate this life going forward. It is too important. It's critical. It's crucial. It's imperative that you continue with this until you complete a full 90 days and you have begun to recondition and reconstruct and reconfigure your mind so that you're always thinking, operating, seeing, visioning from the place of abundance, because we know that one universal law, that your outer world of form and experience is a reflection of your inner world of thought and feelings. So we want to align our thoughts and feelings with abundance, with the creator, the all of everything, the omni-active one, so that our energy is always in a state of fluctuating creation, creating the kind of abundance, a visible manifestation of abundance and prosperity that we desire in every facet of our life. Now, if you are a newcomer and you're saying, I don't even know what the whole 90 days of abundance is about, then I encourage you to go over and visit the website. All the information is there, and then you can read it, listen to the videos that give you all of the prerequisite information, and then you can join us on this journey as well. This is 100% guaranteed to work. It is absolutely fail-proof. So I promise you, if you will follow the instructions and you will stick with it for the entire 90 days, it will drastically revolutionize your life, and it will do so permanently. Okay? So it's a very easy fix. You don't have to buy no blessed candles and blessed oil and blessed handkerchiefs. You're not going to get, the miracle spring water or the red blood of Jesus handkerchief and all that other craziness. You simply have to follow these principles and reconstruct and reconfigure your mind so that your thoughts, words, and deeds align with abundance, and you begin to see the manifestation of it in your life. Okay, so all right, so let's jump in. I hope everybody is ready to get into it, and I'm gonna do my best not to get hype and just kind of take off and take over the whole conversation and it turn into a sermon. I want you to chime in. I want your thoughts, your perspective, your input. And I want there to be a real interactive dialogue that takes place tonight. So I'm going to do my best. All right. Really quickly, we're going to run through from the very first one was that no one is coming to save you because you don't need saving. You don't need saving. I'm not going to go through a whole lot. You can go back and watch the other videos where we talk in detail about this. I'm just going to give a brief cursor to each one of them. No one's coming to save you because you don't need saving. That we have all the time that we need. We simply need to know how to manage it and prioritize it so that it best serves us. That the only place your version of you exists is in your mind. Every time you encounter another person, place, or thing, they create a narrative within their own mind about you that does not completely harmonize or align with your own view of yourself. The only place that your version of you exists is in your mind. So you have to be okay with other people having their own interpretation of who you are. Life isn't fair. I put out the video of this, a little clip from it this morning. Life is not fair. It's not unfair either. Life is exactly what you make it. Life is responsible, is designed to be responsive to you. You are the divine omni-active being that is releasing energy from within you that enters into this thing we call life, the universe, and all of nature. And it is designed to respond by giving you a visible representation of that which you have released. So in every moment, in every eternal moment of now, you are creating the next moment that you'll experience. That taking no risk is the biggest risk. That if you're ever going to experience what you have not experienced, you've got to be willing to do what you haven't done. You've got to be willing to be a water walker. Step off of the boat, step onto the water, and go forward, taking those risks. But that even when I cannot see it, I walk by faith and not by sight. You end up missing out on some of the greatest experiences and greatest accomplishments because you're afraid to step out of your comfort zone and step into the unknown or the unfamiliar. Quitting is always an option, and sometimes it's the best option. That there is a point in your life where you have to be able to discern when something, place, or thing, whatever it is, no longer serves you. It no longer engenders the highest or best version of you. And now it's time for you to disconnect. It doesn't make that person, place, or thing bad. It simply means that it has reached the pinnacle of its purpose. And now it's time for me to move on to the next thing. I'm running through these quickly so that we can get to the number 9 tonight. Okay. Happiness is where you are now, or it is nowhere at all. That you have got to determine that you are going to be, you're not waiting to get a house or car or money or a spouse. You're not waiting to get your degree or get this promotion or get this, that, and the other, and thinking that those things are going to make me happy. And my happiness is not based upon anything external. My happiness is my choice. It is my internal choice. I choose to be happy, and I keep choosing it every single day, throughout the day, in every situation, circumstance, and encounter. I choose to be happy. Happiness is nowhere if it is not where you are now. Okay, if you don't experience, if you're not experiencing happiness now, then you will never experience it in any other place because it's not out there. You will get to there, and if that happiness is not emerging from within, you'll still be unhappy. You'll get the place, you'll get the thing, you'll get the person, you'll accomplish the thing, and you'll climb the mountain, and then you'll still feel unfulfilled and unhappy because happiness has to come from within. Okay? And then what was that? Oh, yeah, there was another one that you have to be willing to hold yourself accountable. You need to call yourself out. This is a really uncomfortable truth that you should be self-governed, that even if you don't have anyone else holding you accountable, anyone else putting you in check, you got to lose your ego and tell yourself the truth. Even if you can't tell nobody else the truth, always tell yourself the truth about you. Call yourself out. Hold yourself accountable. Hold yourself accountable for your actions, your thoughts, your deeds, your behaviors. Hold yourself accountable for those when you have wronged someone. Don't just try and skip over it or take them to dinner or buy them a gift. Open your mouth and apologize. Oh my goodness. Yes. Open your mouth and apologize. Hold yourself accountable. Hold yourself accountable to your deadlines, to your schedules, to your dream, to your vision, to your strategy, to your spiritual practices, to your commitments. Hold yourself accountable. If you don't hold you accountable, no one else will be able to. They might try, but you'll find a way to excuse your behavior or excuse your laziness or lackadaisicalness because you're not willing to hold yourself accountable. All right. And I think that was the last one. And now we're going to begin with a Yeah, we're going to begin with number 9. That was 8, wasn't it? Yeah, that was 8. Yeah, oh, that was a good one, wasn't it? That was a good one, Kiwi. All right, so y'all ready? You got your seatbelt on? You're comfortable? Y'all ready to jump into this next one? Here we go. Closure is your choice. I want you to think about that just for 1 second. Closure is your choice. Because understand, closure is not an apology or an explanation. Let me say that again. Closure is not an apology. It is not an explanation. It's not justice. It's not answers. All of those things come from the egoic state. I need an apology. I need answers. I need a justification. I need a reason. I need some kind of explanation. Why would you do this? Why would they do that? Why did this happen? Closure is not an apology or an explanation or a justification or justice. It is not a reason or an excuse. Closure is a choice. If a situation made you feel awful, bad, rejected, less than, if it engendered those feelings of misalignment, and so you feel hurt or broken or diminished by a particular thing, asking or seeking out closure is reopening the wound and giving whatever it was the opportunity to inflict that pain again. Closure isn't something that someone can give you. Closure is something you have to give to yourself. It is saying that I am releasing and letting go and forgiving and closing the door and moving forward. That's closure. Real closure is your choice. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing about seeking out closure from some external influence, person, place, or thing. That if you are still hurting, if you are still in pain, if you are still bitter, if you are still resentful, if you are still in the state of attachment or neediness or dependency, even when they give you an explanation, it won't help you. Even when they apologize, it will not help you. Even when they give you a reason or when you get what you think is justice, it will not help you. I had the opportunity to speak with, I almost said the name. I'm not going to say the name. I had the opportunity to speak with a family that had endured an egregious wrong where a particular person had taken their loved one's life. And they thought that this was in Florida, and y'all know Florida. Okay. Florida had the death penalty then. Well, they still have the death penalty. But this was some time ago. And so they wanted to be there to watch the execution of the person that had killed their loved one because they thought it would bring them closure. So they were there. They had the execution. The person died, carried out in a little pine box, buried in a potter's grave somewhere. And months went by and they were still in the same state that they had been in before the person was executed, before they got what the state called and they called justice. But that justice did not bring them closure. It wasn't until they decided through counseling, a lot of counseling and prayer, to begin to relinquish and let go of all of those negative feelings, all of the bitterness, resentment, the pain, the hurt, the anger, the malice, and begin to actually forgive a person who was already dead. See, the forgiveness is not for the person, it's for the one doing it's for you. It's really not for the other person. There's an old saying that is absolutely true. Having bitterness in your heart is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It doesn't work that way. The bitterness is killing you. You are the one who needs to forgive, to release, to relinquish, to let it go, close the door to that particular thing, situation, or person, or place, and move forward. As long as you, in your conscious mind, remain in that place, in your emotional mind, remain in that place, you will not have closure no matter how much they apologize. How many of you have been in a situation where someone or something has hurt you, and you made known that it hurt you, and the person or the thing or the place, whatever the situation, they were very apologetic and asked you to please forgive them. And you said from your mouth, I do, okay, I forgive you, but you're still hurt, you're still angry, you're still bitter. When you think about it, you get angry, you get upset, you start to experience it all over again. Come on. You get to the place where you have decided, now I look at you differently, I perceive you differently. I don't trust you anymore. I don't want to be around you anymore. I just don't, I don't see you in the same light. No matter how many times they apologize and they beg for your forgiveness, and you even claim to have given it to them, but you don't have closure, because closure is not an apology. It's not an explanation. It's not a reason. Yeah, exactly. You cannot seek out closure. Thank you, Kiva. That's good. Let me put this up. Her comment is, seeking closure you don't get from someone else. You don't. Oh, okay. Your first part of it was seeking closure that you don't get from someone else is harder to heal. No, it isn't. No, it really isn't. It really isn't. It's the ego that says, I need an apology. I need an explanation. I need to know why. Why do you need an apology? Are you not going to be able to live and breathe? Does that apology change your life? Why do you need an explanation? Are you not going to be able to function, to live, to move forward, to enjoy the rest of your life? And what if the explanation never comes? What if they decide that I'm never going to explain or apologize? What if they die before they have an opportunity to do so? So now are you stuck in that place where now you will never have closure? And so you carry around the weight of that particular situation or circumstance or incident or event in your life forever? If you are dependent upon getting closure from anything outside of you, any person, place, or thing outside of you, you are giving away your power. Remember, you are a divine being. You are a divine, omnipotent, omniscient, omniactive, omnipresent being. Okay, there is absolutely nothing that you have need of, because need is an illusion. You have no lack, no want, no need, or scarcity. You are exactly what you've been looking for. You are the answer to your own question. You are the solution to your problem. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Okay. Yes, that's what I'm saying, because you keep seeking it. It's harder to heal because you don't seek the closure from within. Exactly. That is absolutely true. If you keep trying to seek out closure from someone else, you make yourself a victim. You become the victim. Yvette says, I think some people were taught that when you hurt people's feelings, you're supposed to say, I'm sorry. But as you grow up and begin to explore the world, everybody can't and won't say that they're sorry. Sure, you should. If you've wronged someone, you should apologize. But I don't have any control over whether you're going to apologize or not. And I refuse to make myself dependent upon your apology. Whether or not you have matured enough, whether you hold yourself accountable enough where that you'll lay down your ego and come and apologize. So now I'm just going to hang there in abeyance while I'm trying to see if you're going to come to that place? Absolutely not. When you are seeking closure external from yourself, you put yourself in the position of being a victim. Forgiveness, just like happiness, is a choice. You choose to forgive. Yes, she says, and if you're waiting for an apology, you might be waiting for a long time. You have to forgive yourself and forgive the person. Thank you. Yes. Kayla says, and we have no control over if they are truly sorry, or if they're just saying it for our sake. Yeah, you are absolutely right. And even here's the thing. If you haven't forgiven, if you haven't let go, if you're have not moved forward, even if they are sincerely sorry and apologizing, you won't believe it. You'll have that doubt, that question in your mind. You may not say it from your mouth. You'll even say, I forgive you. It's okay. But now you have a wall up. You have a guard up. Y'all not hearing me. Come on. Can we talk about this whole forgiveness thing? Forgiveness, first of all, let me explain. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It's not forgetting. Okay? Forgiveness is releasing the person from the responsibility of their action. It is saying, you don't owe me anything. It is saying, I am not dependent upon you to feel bad, to feel sorry, or to put forth the effort to try and make me feel differently. I control my feelings. And so I release you from what you have done. It's not forgetting. You have the mind, a good resonant mind. So of course you remember. I don't know if you can see this. You probably can. I'm trying to see if I can show on camera. Yeah, it's gotten so dark. Oh, wait, go the other way. There we go. There we go. Okay, can you hear me? Can y'all hear me now? Y'all talk to me. Somebody say something in the comment. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay. Okay. You still can't hear me, Kiwi? It's not coming through the mic? Okay. Is the sound okay? I'm like, is it coming through clearly? Not as clear as earlier. Okay. It's not coming through the mic. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can. Oh, okay. How about now? There we go. How about now? Y'all tell me how it's coming through now. Is it clearer now? Is it clearer? Back to normal? Great. Yep. Okay. Good. Okay. I think when I hit it, I kind of knocked it offline and I had to just go back and reset the system real quick and get it back online. So I'll stop trying to hold my arm up and stuff. So anyway, I was telling you about a scar that I have on my arm right above my elbow where someone stabbed me with an ice pick. This was years ago. We were in our teens then. Okay. He stabbed me with an ice pick. We got into a brutal fight. It was crazy, but he stabbed me with an ice pick. Okay. And this is, several decades later, I still have the scar. There was a point in my life that every time I looked at that scar, I got mad all over again. And it was like, if every time I thought about it, I wanted to go and grab him again and beat him again and just, of course I won the fight, I did. But anyway, no, that's not the point though. I just wanted to go and get him all over again. That was the indication that even though the fight had been over and he had apologized to me several times about what he had done, about the whole shebang and what brought the fight on and everything like that, and stabbing me with the ice pick. Every time I looked at that scar, I got hot. I got mad. I relived the whole thing in my head. It wasn't until I finally forgave him. Not with just my words, because I had already said to him, yeah, it's all forgiven. Okay, that's in the past. It's done. But it wasn't in the past for me. It was not in the past for me, because every time I looked at the scar, I started to relive it and rethink it, and found myself getting angry and upset and mad. And I would have to find something to distract myself to get my mind off of it, because otherwise I'd go looking for this guy and try and finish the job, And so when I finally started to understand what true forgiveness was when I began to do the inner work to truly release him from the responsibility of the actions that had taken place, to release him, to let it go. Forgiveness is not forgetting. As long as I live, I'll have the scar and I'll always remember how I got the scar. Forgiveness is when you can remember what happened and it doesn't affect you anymore. When you can remember what they did and it doesn't bother you anymore. As long as it still affects you, as long as it still bothers you, as long as you're still getting mad about it, or you're getting sad about it, or you're getting depressed about it, or it causes you to put up walls, or you're getting scared about it, you have not forgiven. As long as it is the catalyst for you to have some chaotic feelings from within, things that draw you out of alignment, that cause you to be misaligned with the divine harmony that you find in your sacred space, then you have not forgiven. you know you have forgiven, when you can remember what happened, you can remember what they did, you can remember what occurred in that place or that with that person, and it no longer affects you. I was talking to my daughter, one of my daughters earlier, and she was telling me about the young man that she's involved with, dealing with a tragic loss of a friend. And it's very new and it's very fresh. And so it happened on a street right near where he lives. And so he has to go out of his way not to drive down that street because, people have set up a memorial there and they've got flowers and balloons and other things. And he's like, every time he drives down that street and he sees that, he has a visceral reaction to it. He doesn't have closure. And the friend is gone. And the person who caused his death is in jail. So who is he going to seek closure from? He has to seek closure from himself, because closure is an internal thing. It is your choice. You choose to let it go. You choose to close that door and to move forward. You choose to heal yourself so that you vibrate higher and you are no longer carrying around the dead weight of the anger, the sadness, the depression, the fear, the distrust, the all of those things. And distrust is really the first cousin of fear. And we're going to get a little deeper into that one anyway, a little further down with some uncomfortable truths. Okay, hold on. Let me see here. Diana says, we have to learn how to be the bigger person. Relieve your chest from the pressure, relax your mind so you can think clearly. Absolutely. Now, let me push back a little bit on being the bigger person. It doesn't make you the bigger person. It's just saying that you've learned how to get closure from within. The other person may not have gotten there yet. They may not know how to do it. Maybe not even know that that's possible. Okay. But absolutely, I know what you intended when you said that. And it's like, yeah, when you could strike back, when you could take revenge, when you could react, when you could respond, you choose to close that chapter, to close the door on it. But here's the thing. Closure does not necessarily mean that you are cutting the person off, or the place off, or the thing off. It means that you are cutting what caused the pain. Here is the real hard decision that you have to make. Can you release and forgive? Can you close the door? Can you achieve closure within without cutting off the person? Can you forgive as you want to be forgiven? And I can hear already the rumblings in the spirit where, it's like, it depends on what they do, because I may have done this, but I didn't do that. Or I may have done this, but I didn't do that. And that's where you start trying to weigh and judge different behaviors as though one is more egregious than the other when they're all egregious. Okay. Yeah, I hear you keep saying, yep, it depends for me. Yeah. And I mean, now, yes, there are some people, places, and things that you should detach from because they are consistently toxic. But what if it's a single action? What if it's a single event? Whew. Can you forgive? Close the door on that. That means you don't bring it up anymore. You're not angry about it anymore. You're not bitter anymore. You don't hold it against them anymore. You don't judge them for it. and still remain in relationship with the person. That's closure. That's some real closure right there. That's some real maturity. Can you have closure and remain connected? Or does closure for you require complete separation? I don't want to see you no more. I don't want to talk to you no more. I don't ever want to go back there again. I don't ever want to, will you ever be able to drive down that street again? Going back to the story I just told you about my daughter's friend. Or do you have to avoid that place forever? Because if that is the case, then are you really taking control of your life? Or are you responding from a place of victim consciousness to the external forces around you? How does all this holding on and waiting for apologies serve me? It only makes me older and colder. Exactly right. That is so true. So true. Kiwi says, I don't have a relationship with my king time best friend because it was a trust thing. I forgave her, but don't feel I can trust her again. Did I really forgive her? Okay, you're going to make me skip down. Long time. I know what you meant. King time, long time. Best friend. That's a really good question. You're going to make me go into one of the next truths that really tie to this. And I guess I should have put this one next to that one anyway. It's an indicator and helps to teach me where I am with myself. Absolutely, Theresa. Absolutely. Okay, I want to go back to Kiwi's question. I don't have a relationship with my longtime best friend because it was a trust thing. I forgave her, but I don't feel I can trust her again. Did I really forgive her? Did you ever trust her before? If you trusted her before, and now you are choosing not to trust her again, because you just said, I can't trust her, but obviously you can. You are choosing not to trust her again. So if you could trust her before, and you are choosing not to trust her again, have you really forgiven? Have you released that person from the responsibility of their action? And understand that trusting them does not necessarily mean reestablishing the same relationship again. Because if there's a chronic behavior, then that's toxic, that does not serve you, then I can understand you're choosing to make a particular, a separation, but still not in the place where you are choosing never to trust that person again. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have to take this off screen for a minute so I can get to that one, because that's not the order that I put them in, but I'm going to bring up another one. There it is. Here we go. So here's another uncomfortable truth that you're going to probably have a little issue with, but it ties really well with what we're talking about, closure. Here it is. You ready? Because trust is not earned, it's given. Ooh. Swallow hard, swallow hard. Y'all go ahead. Don't cuss me out now. Don't cuss me out. Okay? Oh, hold on, Kiwi. Well, her history with other people made me feel that she would possibly treat me the same way. No, you can't judge her relationship with you based upon her relationship with other people. And then it happened. You're saying, okay, but did it happen? Well, that's a conversation you and I have offline. I'm like, did it happen wholly in and of itself, or was the atmosphere created to bring that to pass because it was a thing that you feared, that you almost set up an expectation for it? Because when you have an expectation for a thing, your thoughts, words, and deeds align with that expectation. And while it may be an unconscious expectation, your thought, words, and deeds still have to align with that expectation. Now, that doesn't make you responsible for what the other person does. Of course, everybody has the choice to choose whatever they're going to do. Okay? Okay? But this trust is not earned. Trust is given. Trust is not earned. You choose to trust. Think about what you're saying when you say, well, a person has to earn your trust. Think about what you're saying. Okay, this is the same thing that, and I know why it's been ingrained in us, because religion ingrained that mindset into us as well. They taught us they made us think that that's the way God looks at us. That God wants to see if he can trust you. God wants to see if he can trust you with this and if he can trust you with that. And God, first of all, are you really trying to tell me that there is something that God does not know? God doesn't know if it can trust you or not? What in the world? That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Okay. And further, what can you do, or I, to hurt God? How do we hurt God? How do we let God down? How do we disappoint God? We're talking about an omniscient being. So it knows the end from the beginning. So anything that I ever do, it already knew that I would do what I did before I did it. So it could never be disappointed, because it never expects for me to do anything other than what I do. It can't be hurt, let down, or disappointed. But that's exactly what the church ingrained to us in our hearts and minds. And so then we, in turn, in our egoic state, turned that over to each other as humans as well. And said to each other, you got to earn my trust. You got to prove that I can trust you, that I can trust what you're going to do, what you're going to say, how you're going to act, how you're going to behave. Okay? In the narrative, the whole Jesus narrative, Jesus being portrayed as the Son of God, as this divine being, and yet he chooses Judas, knows exactly who he is and exactly what he does, and yet trusts him to care for the money, sit at the table with him, to share with him, and knew what was coming. Absolutely knew. And if you read the Gospel of Elizabeth and the Gospel of Judas, those are Gospels that are not in your regular Bible. You will see that they even had conversations about it, and it was actually in agreement, because Judas's action was necessary for Jesus in order for Jesus to go to the cross, if you believe all of the texts. Okay. But the point is that he chose to give as a gift to Judas trust. You give trust. It is not earned by anyone. You make a conscious choice based upon what you think you know, and what you think you see, and what you think you perceive and understand. And then you say, I'm going to give you my trust. Then when what you think you know, see, or understand or discern turns out not to be exactly as you thought, saw, or felt, or understood, or discerned, you then make the choice, I'm not going to trust you. But are you making that choice not to trust them based upon who they are or based upon something they did? And if that is the case, then who can be trusted? Because who has not done something egregious? Who can be trusted? Who can be trusted? Who has not done something egregious? But what we do is we encapsulate a person's entire being based upon an event, one action, one choice, something that happened, and now it's, I don't trust you. How did you stop trusting them? They made me, did they? Nobody can make you do anything. Just as you chose to trust them, you are choosing not to trust them. They didn't purchase it. They didn't work for it. They didn't earn it. You gave it to them. Trust is not earned. Trust is given, or you choose to take it away. Oh, I'm getting a whole bunch of comments. Let me go up here and get caught up. Okay. Kayla says, I'm excited for this one because for years I've been told trust is earned. Let's break it down. Okay. Yeah. Me too. We all were. Okay. We are always looking at the physical, talking about the physical, and not seeing ourselves as Theresa. See, I'm telling you right now, I need to hand you the mic and let you teach. That is so absolutely profoundly true. We are always looking at the physical, talking about the physical, and not seeing ourselves as God. Okay? Yvette says, I think it's the action and not the person. Exactly. You were hurt and disappointed by the action. And then you take the action and make a decision about the person. But who has not acted or behaved in a manner that was egregious before? Who, please tell me, is without sin and can cast the first stone? Who? And then we get into weighing the behaviors in the balance. Okay, well, yeah. And none of us perfect. All of us do things that are wrong, but I ain't never done that. So because you never did that somehow makes what you have done better? She said, darn, that's deep. You could say damn. You wanted to say damn. I know you did. Jesus gave Judas trust. Man, you are prolific. I always wonder if Jesus knew that he would do. Yeah. Why did he allow him to stay in the camp? Exactly. He gave him the gift of trust. Kiwi said, and did. I knew you did. You could have said, damn, it's all right. What makes it hard to forgive or trust that person again? Ego. That's what it is. That's a simple, concise answer. Ego. I ain't finna let you make a fool out of me. I ain't gonna let you fool me once. Shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I ain't putting myself in that position. Let you make a fool out of me again. Oh, no, sir. You might have got me the first time, but you'll never get me again. You'll never be able to hurt me like that again. You'll never be able to do that to me again. I don't even look at you the same. I lost all respect for you. I lost all honor. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Isn't it crazy how one event, one action will, that egoic state that we all have, that mind, that ego that we all have, will cause us to erase the entire history of a person based on one event. I think about Eddie Long. Eddie Long did more good, especially in the Black community, than most people walking this planet. Okay? I'm talking about hundreds and thousands of people that he helped, that he empowered, that whose lives were changed as a result of of his work and his ministry and the things that he did. And then a scandal hit about him being homosexual. And at that point, he ain't no man of God. He ain't nothing. He ain't this and he ain't that. And I knew this, that, and the other. And all these preachers, I don't want to hear. He can't say nothing to me. Everything that this man had done and accomplished for years, literally thousands, millions of people, impacted by the work and his life and his words and his teaching, all wiped out because of his sexual orientation. It wasn't even something he did wrong. It was just his sexual orientation. All of it gone. Okay? All of it gone. I was listening to a clip from Dave Chappelle earlier today, and he was talking about Bill Cosby. And he began to go through the life and times of Bill Cosby, how he was the first person to ever have black people portrayed in a cartoon where they weren't being used as the butt of the joke or drawn like minstrels or clowns, but that they had the actual look and features of actual black people, that he had one of the most successful black sitcoms on the air, and hired psychologists and others there to make sure that he always portrayed black people in a positive light, in no way that would be negative, that he gave millions, literally millions upon millions of dollars to black colleges or HBCUs all over this country, that he was a trailblazer in black people starring in their own television shows, even as far back in the early 60s and the late 50s, that he has accomplished all of these things. And his life and legacy is reduced to rape. And he said, Dave Chappelle is logical and funny at the same time. He's like, now, he's a rapist, but that's not all he is. He's also all of these other things as well. And isn't it crazy how we distill a person's life down to the most egregious thing that we learn or find out about them, and everything else about their life is erased based upon that thing. Are you hearing what I'm saying? That is the egoic nature of humanity. That's where cancel culture comes from. That's why you hear people saying, I ain't listening to no R. Kelly music. I am not at all disputing what R. Kelly did was atrocious, horrendous, terrible, evil. But does that make him all evil? Does that make his music evil and wicked and dirty and no good? That he is somehow less talented, less gifted, less artistic because he has this other side of him as well? It absolutely does not. And the truth of the matter is, we are all multifaceted beings, full of light and darkness. Come on. You're not on that large platform and that large stage, but there's not a person on this live and not a person on this planet who don't have some stuff that you pray to God never comes to the surface. Hello. Okay. And so we reduced his entire life to that particular thing and eradicate everything else. And he is to be canceled. He is not to be trusted. He is not to be, spoken well of. You can only mention the name if you're going to say something derogatory. Come on. It's not earned, it's given. Okay? Can we find that internal closure that closes the door on what happened on the event and allows us to move on and give the person, place, or thing the same grace that we require? Because we all require grace. We all require grace. That's a tough one right there. That's a really tough one right there. That's a really tough one. I said uncomfortable truth. You make the choice as to whether you're going to trust the person or not. And when I talk about that, I mean that is relevant to whatever particular situation, circumstance that is taking place at the time. I may trust you with my money, but don't trust you with my heart. And I am making the choice to trust you with my money, but I'm making the choice also not to trust you with my heart. Both of them are based upon my own judgment upon whatever took place externally, because I have not decided to seek closure from within, to close the door, to end that chapter, to release you from the responsibility of your action, to no longer carry that hurt, that pain, that disappointment, all of it internally. All of that is coming from me, because you are no less the person than you were before. How many of you listening to me right now have ever had to seek forgiveness? Oh my goodness. Bishop Victor Powell, good to see you, man. Great day. I'm so glad that you're on here. But how many of you have ever had to ask for forgiveness? Ever done something that you needed to be forgiven for? And if you have, wouldn't you want to receive the same that grace? And are you capable of giving others that same grace that you wanted, needed, expected, required? You cannot distill a person's entire existence down to their worst, most egregious behavior. You absolutely cannot. Unless, of course, you want to be distilled, your life to be distilled down to your worst moments, your worst behaviors. So yeah, closure is something that comes from within. It's a choice. And trust is not earned. You're not, some king pharaoh and I'm not trying to purchase your trust from you. Trust has to be given. You have to choose whether you're going to trust or not trust. It's as simple as that. In words, it's as simple as that. Indeed, in application, it's tough because then you have to swallow your ego, swallow your pride. You have to deal with your fear. You have to deal with the fear that it manifests itself as, that fear of rejection and abandonment and insecurity and all of these other things that manifest themselves, all stemming from those internal fears. I'm not going to let anyone embarrass me. I'm not going to let you make a fool out of me. I'm not going to let you get away with that. My ego tells me that I have to strike back. I got to get my lick back. I can't let you make me look crazy. I can't make you make me look this way or that way. I'm more concerned about the perception of others and how you might view me. Isn't that crazy? You're concerned about how the person who has wronged you might view you if you let them get away with what they did. And are they getting away? Because we understand the universal law of recompense, of circulation, of sowing and reaping. We understand cause and effect. So we know that none of us get away, if you want to call it that, with anything. So you're really worried about a shadow, a figment of your imagination. Yeah, this one's a little bit hard to swallow right here. Okay, Diana says, thank you for teaching me these lessons. Yes. Theresa, can't wait to see what you're going to say. If we are God experiencing itself in human form, it's not surprised whatever or however we show up in this world. Exactly. But we don't think from that space. We don't think of ourselves as being the divine vehicle through which God experiences and expresses itself in the earth as a spirit having a human experience. We think of ourselves as a human trying to be spiritual. And that's why when we act out of place and act out of character and act in egregious manners, we say, well, I'm only human. Nobody's perfect. I'm only human. Do you know how much of an insult that is to yourself to say that you are only human? You are just merely a human? Okay. Toya says, I think this is so important to do the life coaching because this will be discussed in there. I need this because I have been operating out of who and thinking it was I am. Indeed. And you know what? We need to do some rescheduling, Toya. We need to definitely do that. Okay. I was just mentioning that the other day, yesterday, I think it was, to Dee Dee. We need to do some rescheduling. All right. They have to answer to God at the end of it all, seen and unseen, spoken and unspoken. That's absolutely right. Okay. Remember that the law is impersonal. It does not discriminate. The laws of the universe does not discriminate. Okay? We're all operating, functioning consciously or unconsciously within the parameters of those laws. You said, dang, you're doing it again, dang, huh? But that's okay. Theresa, that was awesome. It was. Theresa's just deep anyway. Y'all really, really, really should watch her broadcast on Wednesdays at 7:30. Is it 7:30 or 7? Well, I think it's 7:30. You should really tune in. We'll definitely start thinking about things in this way. Lord, I was just talking to God about this, saying today, I'm I'm only human. You're not. You are not some mere human trying to be spiritual. You are spirit having a human experience. Okay? You put the affirmation from Miles' meditation in perspective for me. Absolutely. It's at 7. Theresa comes on Wednesdays at 7. I said 7:30. At 7 p.m. every Wednesday. Every Wednesday at 7 p.m. So, number one, if you're not Facebook friends with her, go ahead and send her a friend request so that you can connect with her, and then tune in and be a part of her teaching every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Now, I think she's taking a little bit of a break, and I need to call you too, because you didn't tell me you was getting ready to go into surgery. But every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Okay. Yeah, I've been operating out of the ego and thinking it was who I am. Thank you. Yes. But that's what a lot of us do. I mean, that's where we were taught. That's what we were taught. And culture and environment and family and religion all reinforces ego. It all reinforces ego. I was listening to, well, I won't say the preacher because y'all know him too. But I was listening to a preacher, and he was talking about how, God preparing a table for you in the presence of your haters, and people hating on you because of your anointing and because of this, and you're so great and you're so powerful, and this, that, and the other, and the reason why people envy you, and the reason why people don't like you, and the reason why this doesn't happen, but don't you worry about it because God's elevating you anyhow, right in the presence of all your, and I was sitting there going like, what all of that is just feeding ego. And the real question in that is, why are you even aware of their jealousy or dislike or hatred, if you want to call it that, or whatever? Why are you giving voice to it? Why are you giving it attention? Whatever you give your attention to, you give intention to. Nothing is against me. Everything is for me. Nothing and nobody is against me. Everything is for me. But there are people who intend to hurt you, to harm you, to have bad intentions. Their intention has nothing to do with me. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. So that even if they come with this negative intention, with this dark intention, with this evil intention, I'm a God. I take dark matter and transmute it into light, into the form that best serves me. So what you intended for evil works for my good. All things, not some, not just the things I like, not just the things that look pretty, not just the things that sound nice. Everything is interconnected and woven together for good. Everything is for me. Everyone is for me. Even if they're not consciously for me, they just don't know it, but you're working for me. You're for me. You're operating in a manner that's going to help me to evolve and to grow and to accelerate and to move forward. It's all a matter of how I perceive it. I can perceive it through the lens of my humanity and be hurt and angry and bitter and respond in the way that I've been domesticated to think that I was supposed to respond. Or I can choose to look at it from a higher perspective, raise my vibration, and garner from that the lessons that it came to teach me. I get the gift of the wisdom, the lessons, the knowledge that it was born to bring me. It was the present, the pre-sent moment, orchestrated to bring me a gift. Okay. Woo. Okay, let me go back. Okay, here's where I left off. Oh no, you said that already. That was 3 to 7 p.m. I've been in ego thinking that, okay. See, don't you feel better? Don't you feel better? Don't you feel freer? I guess Keith said, hell, he keep pushing me. I'm going to just say it then. Damn it. Keith said, and do. Indeed, indeed. You know I'm cutting up, Theresa. I don't know how to act. That big yawn y'all heard. Came right through the microphone. All right. Man, I'm way over time. It's 1:21. Great day. I'm 21 minutes over time. So we only got to 2 tonight. Okay, about closure and trust. But there's more. So I guess we'll do a part 4 on Sunday morning and try and get through some more of these. But this was a really good, robust, and helpful conversation. I know that you were empowered and blessed by it. All right, let me get up out of here. Take that down. There we go. And listen, if you'd like to support the work that we're doing here, you want to help this platform to grow, you want to give and exercise your gift of giving, you can do so by using the means that you see on your screen right now. There's no specific amount. Whatever it is that you decide to give, I will receive it with gratitude. Remember that we're in this 90 days of abundance, so look for those places to be intentional and deliberate about your giving. Don't hesitate to give. Give of your time, your talent, your love, your joy, your peace, your happiness, your kindness, as well as money. Whatever it is that you desire to manifest, you have to give it in order to manifest it. You get, I almost messed up and gave you one of the truths, so I'm going to leave that right there. But do that right now. Those of you who would like to give, while you have your phone in your hand, take a moment and send a Cashapp or send a Zelle in support of what we are doing here. It is greatly appreciated. I thank you for being so generous. All right, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are still coming on in the morning, we'll be back here in the morning at 6:30 for our morning meditation. Can y'all believe how far we have gotten so far? Today was day 22. If you have the opportunity, do a meditation tonight before you go to sleep. But we'll be back here tomorrow morning at 6:30 and do our next meditation on day 23. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for, participating. Thank you to my good friend, Bishop Victor Powell there in Albany, Georgia. I am so glad that you decided to jump on and be with us for a short time tonight. I really appreciate that. We gotta get up, man. We gotta talk on the phone and catch up with each other. All right. I think that's everything. So you guys have an absolutely fantastic night, and I will see you on Sunday morning at 9 a.m. if I don't decide to jump back on one of these other dates ahead of us. You know how I do. All right. Thank you and good night.